what up, guys? So the balance adjustment changes, whatever, just dropped. Kind of gone over them a little bit. I'm gonna give you guys my thoughts. I'm gonna tell you straight out the gate that I think these balance changes are fucking terrible. And honestly, like, the game is in such a bad state right now that I don't even care to be mad about it. Like, I'm just disappointed at this point. So I was hoping Jkisei would get buffed. But honestly, what they did, I don't know what the hell they did. I don't have Archdemon Shadow. I don't have a Miru. They buffed Melissa, Larina, and Wanda. So there's 4 total units here, right? Well, 5. 5 total units because the base version is who cares, right? And then 2 artifacts. So for a Miru here, they added Ignore ER on her S1 Soulburn, which is nice. They increased this by 5%, which is a little buff, and they added Defense Break to her S3, which honestly, like, she's not very good, and she's just pure RNG anyways. Like, I don't have much experience using her, and I don't really have much experience fighting her because, like, when I did fight her, really felt like she didn't do anything. Like, I have lost to her a few times, but nowhere near in recent times. I can honestly say I haven't fought her in months now. Like, I haven't fought a single one in months. And usually, like, if you fight a Miru, you draft yourself into fighting her when you pick a bunch of units with passives that she can lock down, right? I don't think this really changes anything. She's just a little bit better, really. And then we have Jkisei here. And, like, this had to be dissected for a while to actually figure out what the fuck is going on here. I used Jkisei a lot, like, back in the day. Like, all the time. I cleaved my way to, you know, like, it's like around top 20 arena one season using Jkisei. I was very familiar with the way she played before. Mine's triple S. At one point I had 2 copies of extra ones in my waiting room. Like, I've been around for a while. I remember when she got her first buff and they turned her into a cleaver. I don't know what the hell this is. This is worded really bad. But from my understandings, this is supposed to be 80% chance here. And it's 80% chance to dispel 1 buff. And then 3 times to try to do this. Not 70, not 80. It's supposed to be 80. It's 80 up here. Not 80% chance to dispel 3 times. That's kind of how we were originally thinking. And we're like, oh, that's probably pretty decent. But an 80% chance to strip is, like, super unreliable, right? That's really bad. And like, granted, she should be able to knock off barriers from FCC because you're going to be building. She's more of an opener unit now, not a cleaver. So they kind of changed how she plays. I guess you could still use her as a cleaver. They just moved her Soulburn from her S2 to her S3. So, and then her S2 has hit down on it now instead of damage increase. They kind of like shimmied the extra damage onto this, and then they have, you know, hit down in its place. And then they just increase the overall damage of this. So basically this is going to do similar damage to what her S2 did before. It's going to be the damage on her S3. But the weird thing is, like, her base speed's like 115, right? She's not going to be able to go that fast. Like, she's really not. And just to kind of, like, talk about that real quick. Let's look at Jkisei here. Let's see how fast I can get her and what kind of quality gear we got, right? And I'll literally go as fast as I can. I think I have to do it like this. So the absolute fastest I can go is 290. Okay, look at the average speed on this gear. 20, 23, 21, 19, 19. So this is like 20 average, 21 average, right? About 20 average. A little over 21 average, 20 average, in between 20 and 21. And you're only at 290. That's not good, right? And this is like not even damage gear. Like, if I was to actually try and do damage, like, this is how they're kind of projecting that you're supposed to build her. So, like, if I just give her my ACID's gear. Oh, I need crit. So it would look something like this. And then, you know, I don't have an artifact on right now, so she'd have more attack. Maybe like Draco Plate or something. And then, like, the damage is kind of okay. But, like, she gets outsped by so much. With her, like, she's not an assassin, right? It's like, why would you put this gear on her over, like, an assassin unit or ML Charles or, you know, Kisei or regular Kisei or something like that? It's just like, it just doesn't really make sense. I think she actually just needed a complete revamp of her kit. I don't understand what they're thinking here. Turning into an opener. Like, I don't think it's complete dog shit useless. I think it can work in a cleave draft, maybe. But she's still gonna get countered to death by all, like, Rim, Violet, all Belian, all this crap, right? Is still gonna counter the shit out of her, so it didn't fix the problem that she had before. And that was her problem, right? That she get countered to death. So, like, I don't know, it's just, it doesn't really make sense, right? I think this buff is bad. I'm not gonna say it's a nerf, because she probably is better than what she was, but this isn't what she needed. And it's disappointing. Because I like JKC. Would like to use her. And then we got Melissa here, so they gave her immunity on, I think this is her S2, right? Which just gives her immunity. And then they just let her curse regardless of whether attack hits. So this is like a Violet counter, right? I think Smilegate, in their data collection, they're like 2-3 months behind where we're actually at. I guess they forgot that they already released, like, Zahak, and we already have Milim, and they already gave us, like, Violet counters, and they're still giving us Violet counters. It's like, I guess they think people are still really struggling with Violet. Violet is a bullshit unit. We all know that, and he's annoying, but he's not the biggest problem in the meta right now. There's units in the meta that are way more oppressive than Violet. Sometimes the dude just dies. Like, I fought one today. I just smashed him with a Ravi. He just died. He's not really an issue. But we're still getting Violet counters. Whatever. I think Melissa's been buffed like 3-4 times now. Like, come buff somebody else. Lorena got kind of a nice buff. Better for PvE. Like, if you're a newer player and you're watching my videos, Lorena is a little bit more worth building now. She's actually just going to do a ton of damage. Because she does increase damage based on target's max health now. So, anything that you can use Daydream Joker on, she's just going to hit really fucking hard. So, it might be worth building her again. Or not again, but, you know, using her, whatever. And then we have Wanda. Wanda's actually the coolest buff in here, but I honestly don't think this changes much either. If you're going to draft her in RTA, you basically turn a 4v4 into a 3v3. You remove one of their units from play for a little bit, and then you're sitting there with a Wanda. So basically, they increased her hit chance, right? And they basically made it to where she can't miss, which is nice. And then she has a 100% chance to stun and decrease speed now instead of unhealable. So, like, if you were to, like, compare this to something, it would be like Fire Letica, right? You know how she reduces somebody's CR all the way to 0 and then puts speed down on them? This effectively does the same thing. She just kind of, like, removes something from play. Stunning it for 2 turns and then giving it speed down, so it takes forever to go through those turns to get the speed buff off. Speed debuff off, right? So, there's that. The speed rune, at the start of the battles, like, she gives herself stealth, but I don't think she's going to re-stealth after that. So, she starts the battle with stealth, which is nice. And, yeah, she, when using one shot, one kill, has a 100% chance to decrease duration of the target's buffs by 1 turn. So, like, she gets rid of the immunity before she stuns them. So, basically, she removes a unit from play, stuns it, and whatever. See, like, And people out there might be thinking, oh, you could use this with Spez now, and blah, blah, blah. It's like, the unit's already stunned for 2 turns, and it's got speed down. Like, why are you going to waste your kill on it? You know what I mean? Like, it's just, it's kind of awkward. I don't think it really changed. Like, these balance patches, like, literally change nothing. And you know what's funny is, like, they buffed Jaekise to be an opener, and with this terrible base speed, like Lilius, that's about to come out that comes out the same time this change does, is gonna shit on her. Like, she's not gonna be able to do anything. I just don't think she fits in this meta. Like, AoE is just, you draft AoE to deal with S10 right now. That's really the only reason you draft AoE in this meta, or to knock Landy out of stealth. Like, that's the only reason you draft AoE. Because this AoE is just too punished now. They make it to where you just can't draft it. And that's why S10 is so strong right now. So I think S10 is the strongest she's ever been. Like, and she's always been good. They constantly, like, keep manipulating the meta to where she gets better and better. It's crazy. And, like, with Blind in the game now, a lot of people just pre-ban Blind and they pick S10, and then, you know, a lot of the relevant units are, you know, there's a lot of reliable ways to get Landy out of stealth, so Landy's not as great into S10 as she was before. I mean, there's AOL, there's Lilius coming out, there's Milim. Milim is on the rise. A lot of people are using Milim. She's very good, and she deals with Landy very well. Yeah, and then, you know, Charlotte's still popping off too. So I think, like, for an AoE unit to be good, it needs to be a unit like Charlotte, right? You see how stacked Charlotte's kit is? Like, just, like, let's compare, like an AoE DPS, right? So we have Charlotte compared to, like, this Jaekise buff, right? Charlotte's able to be built very tanky, and just because she doesn't need crit at all. And then she actually heals for a ton. She gives herself, like, she's self-sufficient in her attack and defense buff. And she can be built with great sustain. She has this EE to get the combat readiness and etc. Like, this is how an AoE unit in the game has to be right now. It needs protection. Otherwise, it dies to counters. And then Jaekise, building her as an opener for cleave that doesn't really exist right now unless you have Caesarea cleave going, which I think she might be able to be drafted with Caesarea, but honestly, it's just like, why would you draft Jaekise over the units that have better base speed, that are more reliable, unless you have crazy speed gear? To get her in the 300s, you need like 23 average speed gear, which is ridiculous. Or you gotta draft her with imprints or something. It's just, I don't see how this buff, is good, personally. Like, I'm not seeing it. I don't know. Maybe they'll change stuff before it actually comes out, because I know the feedback is going to be overwhelmingly negative. Just really disappointed. And then going down, we got the artifacts, right? So they buff Wind Rider, increase attack by 20%, and then when caster defeats an enemy, you get 40%. So it's still 60% total, but they made it to where, like, you didn't have to kill something to get usefulness out of the artifact. I think this is a good change. And then they buffed this artifact as well. So basically, yeah, it's still when it's not their turn. It's after extra attack, counter attack, dual attack. They basically gave it like a 60% chance to spell. When I saw this buff, I went ahead and ran and picked up one of them, because this might be like something like semi-decent for like Champ Z. So I grabbed a copy of it. Maybe even like Politis or something. But I think like Champ Z, like, this is actually going to make him pump out quite a bit of extra damage. Because, you know, with Lilius coming out, he might be a bit on the rise too. So that's going to be it, I guess. So you see the comments here? Thank you for your hard work. Oh, I also want to go over this, right? These are the proposed balance balance adjustments and implements that are scheduled for the update on 12/23. Right before Christmas, they give us this crap. Many players have expressed various opinions regarding the performance balance among heroes and artifacts. We appreciate every opinion you have shared to help us improve Epic 7. They don't even read the feedback because none of these units, like we said we wanted Kisei buffs, right? I'd argue, like, I'm not going to say it's a nerf, but I'm not going to say it's a buff. It's like they shimmied some stuff around and it didn't really make a difference, right? We are also continuously monitoring and reviewing each hero and artifact mentioned in your suggestions. This is why I was saying earlier that I think they're like 3-4 months behind. Because they see all the people complaining about Violet, right? And that's when he was initially buffed and before they released all the counters to it. So I guess they think that the solutions aren't there now and they're still releasing counters. They buffed Wanda, they gave us the Hawk, Melissa. Those are all to deal with Violet. 3 units. 1 was the last banner unit, and 2 in the balance changes, they all deal with Violet. It's all anti-evasion. You know, honestly, they could have just reverted the Violet change, and I think people would have been more happy with that and buffed different units. I think people would have been okay with that. His banner hasn't even come out since then, so they wouldn't even have to refund anything or anything like that, right? Everybody already had him. However, a series of processes such as collecting, verifying data, planning, and balance tests have to be done. I think this is a load of crap, and we are investing enough time for the chain of the process in order to release the final balance patch and establish a more stable gaming environment. I don't believe that. All opinions and suggestions you share in the community are a great help to Epic 7. We always anticipate more hearing from all players. Sorry, I'm tilted a little bit. But these ain't it. Like, this meta's not very fun right now. I've been playing a little bit. I dropped out of Emperor again.
Is it my turn?
Yeah, so I got up to Emperor. I went on a bad loss streak here, right? But yeah, like, if we just go through my match history here, look at my draft. I'm liking Bryce Area. Like, I like Bryce Area. She's pretty good. But notice what I pick, right? ML Kerwick's in every draft. AOL's in every draft. A-Ravi's in every draft unless she's banned. Look at all the first pick Belian I'm fighting over here when I don't ban her, right? Belian. There's these units again, right? Belian. Here they are again. Rimuru. Belian. Rimuru. Right? Tatsuni finessed me with this random last pick here. I was like, shit. But yeah. Kerwick. AOL. Like, you guys see the drafts, right? This is the meta. Kisei doesn't affect it at all. Amiru doesn't affect it at all. Wanda's a meme. Lorena's PvE. Melissa doesn't affect it at all. People very rarely use Melissa, but people are going to be more inclined to pick her in a Violet now, which, that's whatever. I guess it's going to be it. I don't want to ramble too long. It's already been 19 minutes. So, get this shit out of my face. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments. I'll catch you later. Peace.